come to a tall seated position. Let's bring those hands together in front. Take a couple breaths to bring that breath in a little bit fuller now. In and out through the nose. See if you can get those shoulders to draw down a little bit away from the ears. Neck is long. That sense of reaching up through the crown of the head. Good solid connection to your base or the sit bones of the bottom there. Now add a little tiny circle here. It's really subtle, just a little, almost like a rocking feel, but around in one direction. Just a little bit of movement. Feel your base as you go. Stay connected both sides. And a little gentle circle the other way. Good, now come into that point where it feels right in the center there for you. And start to take those arms up with a reach. And when you get to the top, separate those hands, palms are facing in. And then we're going to bring those arms down, bending the elbows, palms face forward. And bring those elbows all the way down to the sides, towards the ribs. Now let's take a breath in and reach up, palms face in. And then exhale, elbows down. Inhale it up. And out. Let's do that one more. From here, let's take the arms out to the sides, the palms are facing forward, and send those hands a little bit further back. Open up across the chest. And then now let's bring the arms in. We're bending the elbows, bringing the elbows and hands together. A little bit of a rounded back fold here. Come up to your tall sit, open up. Expand those arms out, pull back, and then bring them in, bent elbows, forward fold. Maybe add that breath again. Inhale as you open, and exhale. Try this another 3 rounds here. Now we'll finish in that open position. Turn the palms down and let the wrists bend here. We just got those fingertips pointing downwards, and then switch to flexing or extending at the wrist. Good, try that a couple more times. Try to keep the shoulders moving down away from the ears here. Good, and then from this position, let's take it over to the left with a lean and reach it up. Take that right arm up and over, and then sweep it down through the front and come up to tall sit. And we'll go to the other side. Left arm over, and then a little roll through the front. Good, over to that other side. Breathe it in as you go. Exhale, sweep. Breathe in and out. Try that a couple more rounds here. Good, finishing with that last one, come up. Sitting tall again, take it into a twist, one hand across the opposite knee, other hand reaches behind you. Come into this for a brief hold, lifting tall. Take a little bit of rotation through that neck, glancing over that back shoulder. Stay for one more breath. Good, and then switch over. And on your next exhale, release back to the front. Great, and we're going to come up onto the hands and knees. Okay, as we arrive here, we're going to take that right leg to extend behind us. Reach it up a little bit. Let the belly drop, look ahead, and inhale here. And exhale, travel that right knee underneath the body, rounding the spine, forehead towards the knee. Inhale it back. And exhale through again. And continuing with that, just moving at your own pace here. See if you can get a little bit of movement through that spine in those cat-cow shapes. Good. Now we're just going to finish up with the leg extending back, and then take that right leg and cross it over the bent knee on that left side, landing it on the left side, and lean into the right knee. And this is where we're going to do a little sit back with the hips. You might need to walk those hands a little. So the legs are crossed and we're sitting back. If that's not working for you, just kind of go more into a child's pose and uncross those legs. There, and then coming back to tabletop, neutral position here. We'll get into our left side. Extend that left leg back. Breathe it in, drop that belly. Look ahead, good. Exhale through that knee bend, round the back. So just carrying on with this, moving with your breath. Each time that knee comes in, it's a good exhale. Draw the tummy or the belly in. Nice, and then we finish with the leg out. Cross it over to the right side. Tuck it behind that right knee. Lean into that left knee. That right knee might actually lift up off the floor as you sit back. There, okay, coming back to tabletop. Let's go into a reach forward with both hands. We'll walk those hands nice and far, shoulder width apart. Feel that connection with the palms and finger pads down into the ground, and slowly lowering the body downwards here. Chest moving down between the arms. Release a little bit through the neck if you can. Good, and then we're going to lift out of it, slide those hands in a little bit, just a touch, and then start to shift your body forward here, hips coming forward, and then moving the chest slowly through the arms, letting the hips gently sink down towards the ground, taking your time so that you go to that point where your back arch here feels safe still, and landing into a bent knee version of upward facing dog. Have a little moment to hold. Engage that core, start to shift the hips back. As you do, let's tuck the toes under, and we're going to come up into a downward dog. Lift those knees up, hips to the ceiling. Start to step those feet into position around hip distance apart. Maybe we're doing some alternating heel presses. Those calves are tight, or the backs of the legs there. Take another breath. Good, and then starting to get ready for our transfer to stand. So look ahead. Try to take a couple big steps with those feet to the hands, and then from there rise up. Okay. I'm going to stay in the position where I'm at the top of my mat. So oriented to that short edge. And then we're going to come together with a reach up with both arms. Bring those arms into that upward salute position. And then from here, we're going to take our right hand and sweep it down behind us, landing on the back of the left thigh if you can, or wherever you can reach to. And maybe a small hint of an arch back, but just being cautious with that. Going to where you're comfortable. And then let's come back up with that right arm, reach, both arms are stretching up, and do it on the other side now, so that left arm sweeps down to the back, over to that right side, and just maybe a little opening through there, the front of the body more to the right. Good. Now bring both arms to reach up, Body is oriented straight ahead. Just those feet, make sure they're hip distance apart. Come down into a bend with the legs sitting the hips back. And let's take our arms to sweep back as we bend here. Good. And now staying in your bend, sweep forward with the arms. Good. Now we're going to come into a forward fold from here. So you're straightening your legs a little bit, but they don't have to go all the way straight, just enough. See if you can get the fingertips down. And now we're going to come to a stand. And I like to bend those knees a little bit and keep my back straight as I rise up, reach, and then bring those hands down to the front. Pausing here for a moment. Let's try that again with the breathing. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, take that right hand and sweep it to that back of the left leg. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, the other side, left hand back. Good. Inhale up. Exhale through your chair bend, sweeping back with the arms. Inhale, stay here. Reach the arms forward and up. Exhale into a forward fold. And then inhale, come to stand. Bend those knees a little and rise. Good. Exhale, hands in front. And let's try that again. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, right arm down to the back leg. Good. Inhale, reach. Exhale, left hand back. Inhale, up. Exhale into bend. Sweep the arms. Good. Inhale here. Reach the arms forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, come to stand. Breathe it out to home. One more time through. Inhale, reach. Exhale, right hand reaching to that back left thigh. Good. Inhale it up. Exhale, left hand back. Inhale. Exhale through your bend. Sweep. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Bend those knees, rise up again. And out, hands to the front. Relax those shoulders down. Just take a little moment. Maybe close the eyes for a second. Check in. We're going to continue moving here. Let's reach those hands up together. Breathe in as you go. Exhale into a forward fold this time. Swan dive down. Let's do that half left. Inhale, hands to knees, flat back. Exhale, hands down and step back into your plank. Breathe in and touch the knees to the ground. And then as you exhale, lower down slowly. Keep those upper arms close to the ribs. Untuck toes, hands down beside the chest. On your next breath in, come up into a cobra. And then exhale, let's shift those hips back. Tuck the toes, downward dog. Two breaths here. Lengthen through those arms or the sides of the body. Good, okay, bend those knees, look ahead, big steps of the feet. Let's do half lift again. Inhale, rise through the chest. Breathe out, fold, maybe bend those knees a little bit. And come up to stand. Inhale it up. And breathe those hands down in front. Try that again. Breathe and reach. Exhale, swan dive down. Nice and gentle as you go. Inhale, lift, engage. Exhale, hands down, find plank. Breathe in, knees to down to the floor. Exhale, lower the body. Good, breathe in for your cobra. Take your time, exhale, transfer into that downward dog. Send those heels towards the ground for a moment. Good, and let's get back to standing. Feet step ahead. Breathe in, flat back. Exhale, fold, release all the air out, and nice slow rising up. Breathe it in and reach. Exhale down. Good, let's keep going. Breathe in, reach it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hands down plank. Inhale, knees touch. And breathe out, nice and slow descent down to the floor. Good. Take a cobra lift, breathing in. And exhale, find that downward dog. Now as we get into our downward dog here, just a little reminder as we flow through these different moves in class to take breaks off those hands if those shoulders get tired or anything. Child's pose is a good alternative in this pose. Okay, now we're going to step the right leg forward and we're going to see if we can get that foot to go between the hands. Wiggle it if it didn't land right. The back foot turns out 90 and rounds, and we're going to slowly rise, windmilling those arms up into our warrior two. So have a bend in that right knee, arms stretching out to the sides here. Good. We're going to come into a little bit of flow here. So release your knee bend, turn your palms up. Inhale and bring those hands up, palms together. Exhale, release the arms out to the sides, bend into the knee, warrior two. Good. Inhale up and exhale. So as you're doing this, stay connected to that back foot as well. One more time there. Come through warrior two. And now let's bring that right elbow down to the right knee. Reach it up and over with that left arm. Our side angle pose for a little moment. And from here, we're going to rotate the body and go forward facing into a lunge. So start to turn towards your bent knee. Lift up that back heel and see if you can get those fingertips down to the ground. Just that back leg nice and long. And land your left hand palm down on the floor and start to open up the other way. So rotating the body, open on the right, reaching that right arm up. Draw that right shoulder back. Take one more breath here. Good. And then as we come out of this, we're going into plank. So do what you can to sweep that right leg back. Find your plank pose. At this moment, you could choose to come to the knees again or stay on your toes this time. Breathe in here. Exhale, lower to the ground. Untuck toes, good. Breathe in for your cobra. And exhale back into downward dog. So as you come into your downward dog, again, taking a couple breaths. Good, and we're going to get ready to step forward with the left leg this time. Between those hands, back foot lands, turns out 90. Warrior two, coming up to stand, meeting here. Just going to take a little turn to the camera. Excellent. Okay, from here, we're going to get that movement going again. We're going to inhale, straighten that leg, bring those palms up together overhead. Exhale, bend back to warrior two. Watch how that knee's bending. Just make sure it's tracking in the direction of the foot and the toes there. Relax those shoulders away from the ears as you release those arms down. Good, one more. Through warrior two, we find our side angle, elbow down, reach that right arm up and over. Palm should face down to the ground. Good, now we're going to get that little rotation of the body, turning towards your bent knee. Try to find the ground, that back leg is spinning, so the heel's up. Once you're here, right hand grounds, and we reach up and open with the left arm. Gaze could follow the hand, you could be looking up. Keep that back leg nice and firm, straight and strong. Good, now coming from here into your plank again, I'm just going to turn around. Inhale at the top of the plank, exhale to lower. Good. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Now we're coming to standing from here. So look ahead, get those feet stepping to the hands. Let's do a half lift. Inhale. Lift, lengthen spine, exhale and fold. Nice, slow return to stand now. Inhale it up. Good, breathe out. Back to our mountain pose. And just take a little moment here, a little adjustment or whatever you might need. Coming back to the top of my mat. Okay, a little bit of balance coming. We're going to start by lifting up just the right knee, and as we do that, we bring the arms reaching up with us. So take your time here. And then from this position, we're going to see if we can extend that right leg behind us into our warrior three, and we'll take the arms and guide them to extend behind us as well. So your left leg that you're standing on stays fairly straight, maybe a sort of wee bend in that knee if you need it. We're going to sweep through this again. If you can move with the breath, you could try that with me. I'm usually inhaling up and then a slow exhale to extend back. Now, if you're finding the transition that needs to be slowed, don't go with the breath, just take your time. See what you can do with that. I'm going to do another one here, one more on this side. There, that's the idea. Step it in, take a little walk out with the feet there for a moment. I want to go right away into that other side. It's so important to take it slow with these movements. I'm lifting that left knee now. Steady gaze, mindful transitions, take your time. Come to that amount of lean that feels good for you. It might be a bit more subtle if you need it. That standing foot, just check in that you're not clenching those toes tight. Try to keep, there's a little bit of space between those toes. Good, I'm going to do one more round here. There, yeah, and just release again, come back to the top of your mat. Walk it out a little bit. Take a couple deep breaths standing here, mountain pose. Rotate so that the chest opens a little, blades come slightly together, palms face forward. Good. Let's take a breath in with our upward slope. Breathe in and reach together. Exhale into your forward fold. Good. A little half lift again. Inhale, rise through the chest. Exhale, hands down, feet back for plank. In this moment, we might want to give it a try to go into our upward facing dog. So as you lower on your exhale, halfway down, chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog. Good, and exhale, shift it back to downward dog. Now from our downward dog, we're going to step that right leg forward again. So big step, try to land the foot between the hands. Adjust those feet so that it's not too linear. We've got that back heel still lifting. We're going to come up into crescent lunge from here. So reach it up, take your time. We'll meet up here. If you needed to bend that back knee a slight amount, no problem. Now we're going to go into a vertical twist from here. So we're rotating our body to the right, and then we're going to see if we can reach those arms out to the sides. See how you do with that. Now from this rotated position, start to lean forward to your front knee and see if you can land that left elbow down on that right knee and bring your palms together. Yeah, revolved lunge here. Just take a little moment. Nicely done. Okay, come back down, hands to ground. Step it back into a downward dog. Good, and then from here we're going to try that on the other side. Left leg steps forward between the hands. From this position, the lunge, we're lifting up. Crescent lunge, bringing those arms up. That's it. Looks like most of you are getting there. Now we turn to the left, opening. Reaching those arms out to the sides. See if you can release the shoulders a little bit away from the ears again. Good. From here, that right elbow lands on the left knee. Bring those palms together. Try to center those hands right at the middle of the chest there. Spine is lengthening, reaching forward to the crown of the head here. Good, okay. As we come out of this, land those hands, this time into plank. Good. Breathe in here. Exhale, coming down to the ground or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Good. Exhale into downward dog. Good. Now this time we're going to lift the right leg up. Inhale it up. Just a lift for a breath. And then exhale, travel that right knee under and step that right foot forward. Coming up into that lunge again. So crescent lunge. See if you can travel up with me another time. Lots happening here. Good, coming up. Once we've arrived here in our crescent lunge, we're going to rotate that back foot, turn it out, open to the sides and find your warrior two. Yeah, you just have to rotate a little bit and maybe adjust those feet. There we go. Let's take reverse warrior. So left hand travels down that back leg, palm faces up with the right hand. Reach it up, open through the rib cage here. Good, and then back through warrior two. Now we're all gonna face that long side of our mat. Square those feet and keep the toes pointing forward to start with here. Good, okay. Now I'm gonna start to pivot both feet out, turning out just a little bit, and then reach those arms up. Good, now from here we're gonna go into a wide knee bend and bring those elbows down with you as you bend. Good, knees pull open out to the sides. Let's take it with a breath. Inhale and reach those hands up and exhale down. Let's do one more. Great. Back out to the sides with the arms, rotate feet, toes point ahead or maybe even slightly pigeon-toed in. Coming down into a forward fold now. Don't hesitate to bend those knees a little if you need it. Just have a little moment here to settle into this bend, releasing long, smooth breaths. Now from here, we're going to move into our boat pose. We tried this a couple classes ago. Bend those knees a little bit. Really land firmly down into that left hand. Lean into it. Pick up your left leg and sweep it through, turning to the side into boat. Yeah, it gets smoother with practice. So from our boat position, I have my feet up, but you're more than welcome to keep your feet down. Make sure the chest is lifted and the back is long. While holding this position, I'm going to reach my arms up, inhale and exhale to reach forward again. Just a real simple sweep of the arms. Seeing if you can hold this boat shape while you go. 2 more. Good, okay. Set the feet down if they're up. Land your hands behind you, and we're going to step those feet in. Make sure they're around hip distance apart. Coming into that reverse tabletop. So hips are lifting up. We have our knees bent, feet firmly into the ground. Rise to where that comfortable lift height is for you. Gazing forward or up towards the ceiling, your choice. Come into this for another 2 breaths. There, good. Let the hips return back down to the floor. Cross your legs a little bit in front here. If it works okay for you to just kind of roll forward and through, you land onto your knees. I might just need to step it back a little bit. And then once you're here, we're going to come up into that downward dog. Good, okay. In downward dog, a couple breaths. All right, let's lift our left leg up this time. So this is that three-legged downward dog. Inhale it up. Exhale, travel that left leg under. Step forward with the left foot. Back to lifting up into our crescent lunge here. Land it for a couple moments. Good, turn out that back foot, rotate open to the side, warrior two. And let's take it into reverse warrior. Left hand reaching up for a couple breaths. Gaze towards that hand. Good, and then back through. Okay, let's come out of that knee bend, rotate so we get everything situated to that long edge of the mat. Turn those toes out a little bit. Bring the hands up. Reach into that 5-point star. We're going to bend those knees, bring those elbows down with you. Inhale as you come up. Exhale, bend. Couple more. Good, and out to the sides with those arms. Adjust the feet to point forward. One more forward bend here with the wide legs coming down. If it feels safe to do so, let the crown of the head drop towards the ground. Maybe soften those knees a touch if you need. Let the body drape here for a couple moments. Okay, we're going back into that boat pose. So bend those knees, land down the weight just into the right hand. You're picking up the left hand and the right foot. Sweep it through. Sitting down, sideways facing here. Boat pose. Lift through the chest, lengthen through the spine. Remember, you can keep those feet down. Your choice here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release them to the front. One more. There. Good. Okay. Release the feet to the floor, hands behind you again. This time I'm going to go into a reverse plank, so I'm going to straighten out the legs. You're more than welcome to keep those knees bent with that first version we did. Pressing down through the heels this time, we lift up through the hips. Nice straight line through the body. Coming up as high as you can there. Again, you can adjust your head position to where it's comfortable for your neck. Keep that back body strong and lifting. Good, and then release those hips back down. Excellent. What I did from there is just a simple cross of the legs. And if it works, to roll forward and through, otherwise just coming onto your hands and knees. And then up into that downward dog. Just a moment to press back. Let's make our way to standing one more time. Step those feet forward. And a simple rise up from there. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so again, a little moment just to catch the breath or grab a sip if you needed. Come to that top of our mat when we're ready. Good, okay. Let's come together with that breath in, sweeping those hands upward, salute. Exhale that right hand down to the back of that left thigh. Take a little back bend again. Good. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, left hand down to the right thigh. Good. Inhale up. Good. Exhale into your chair pose. Sweep those arms back. Stay with the bend. Reach those arms forward and up. Pausing here. This time, see if you can lift those heels with me. Just give it a little hold here. Steady and strong. Stay with that breath. Good. Let the heels come down. Forward fold. Gentleness here. Just a little hang. On your next inhale, straighten those legs, rise to the chest, half lift up. Exhale, hands down, find your plank. Good. We're touching our knees to the floor, and we're widening the hands to the edges of the mat. Gonna do some push-ups here. I like to let us know what we're doing so that you can just go at your own pace. As we come down, lowering down, go to where you're comfortable. Elbows can go to the sides on this one, and then back up. Just keep this flowing with your own speed that feels good and depth as well. I'm going to do a few of these, just listening to our body, seeing what strength is there for us. Might be fairly new for some people. Now, when you start to feel fatigued and you're feeling done with your push-ups, we'll all meet up on our tummies. So we'll lower to the ground. No hurry. You might have a couple more in there. Don't see many takers. Okay, release those hands for a moment. Let's bring those arms to the sides. Locust pose. So we're lifting the chest, lifting both legs. Arms will lift off the ground as well. Bring those shoulder blades in slightly together, but also move those shoulder blades down the back so you can feel that lengthening through the neck, reaching forward through the crown of the head and reaching back with the feet. Couple more breaths. There we go. Release hands back to the floor, release down. Help yourself up. And shift those hips back for a child's pose. Take a few moments here. Be off those hands. Relax. Catch the breath here. Alrighty, we're gonna lift out of this, bringing the hips back up. And as we come forward, let's go onto our elbows this time. Elbows to the ground, hands are forward. I usually clasp my hands for this. And we're gonna come into a full plank position again, unless you're feeling maybe a little bit of a need to stay to the knee level, in which case it would look like this. Hips forward, knees down. If you're with me, maybe getting those knees up too. If you are in the elevated position here with plank, we're going to try bringing one knee in at a time. Now, when you travel the knee in, you might have to lift the hips up a little, and then you step it back, and you're alternating. Otherwise, you're just in kneeling plank, holding, breathing. Couple more if you can. Good, after that last one, let the hips sink down. We're coming onto our tummies on the elbows. Lift it into the Sphinx pose for a moment. Open up through that front body, opening through the chest here. And in this position, we're gonna, well, not everybody's gonna necessarily like this one, so a couple options coming. I'm going to see if I can stay lifted, bend one leg, and on that same side, reach back with my hand into a little stretch of that leg. Being up like this does definitely increase the back extension. So if you don't like that, I would lower down and see if you can get a hold of that pant leg or ankle. Good, and then I'm switching over there. Now, if you need a couple more moments, no hurry on letting that go. We'll sit back into a child's pose again together when you're done. Or maybe a cat stretch might feel good as well. That could be an alternative here. A little rounding of the back. I'm sitting back here. All right. Okay, I'm going to go into pigeon pose from here. So this is for stretch purposes. We're just bringing whichever leg you like forward, and whichever knee you bring forward towards your hands kind of moves to that side on the wrist, on the same side, and the other foot's walking across. And a little shifting back now with that back leg, inching it back, sitting into that hip. If you have any blanket or cushions, you could set it underneath that cheek there if there's a lot of space and you want to support. You're more than welcome to lower to the elbows or prop your elbows onto something. And if you know a little alternative to this pose, if maybe the hips don't want to take in this full angle, you could be adjusting right now. We're starting to slow things down a little bit now, so take opportunities to let the eyes close, slow the breath a little bit. Get a sense of all those sensations in the body as you rest. Okay, good. So now let's get our other side going. Let's help ourselves up. Maybe take a moment to stretch that leg back that was underneath for just a second or two. We'll see how the second side goes, bringing that knee in. And a lowering down if you wish, a bit more depth. Regardless of how you're holding your upper body, do a little checking in for tension to the shoulders or the neck. See what you can release here. Breathe into those areas where you're feeling some stretch or that sensation. Exhales, let things go, release. Okay, we're going to lift up. Let's help ourselves back up. Good. And then from here, I want to come into a lying down position. So let's meet up on the ground. When you first get here, we'll widen those feet and do some windshield wipers. A little bit of rotation through that hip. Let that knee drop down. Good, okay. Come back in, walk those feet in. Take those knees in for a hug now, so both knees drawing in lightly here. Get that low back feeling grounded. A bit of rocking sometimes helps. Good, now we're going to take this left leg and extend it up, holding onto the back of it, and then reach the right leg out, but not touching the ground. So it's hovering above the ground. Draw the tummy in. Maybe lift up a little bit here. You don't have to do this part. You could stay grounded in the upper body, but I'm reaching up to that ankle, and then we're going to switch our legs. So we're maybe holding this little crunched up position or flat, and either way, drawing that belly in and down. Low back is trying to get flush with the ground. Little switching here. Take it a couple more times. Good, and when you finish with that one, let's bring those knees back in, lower the body. Good. And then we're going to take it one more time with the legs up. Reach those legs up, and this time out to the sides. Let's draw the tummy in, and let's just do sort of like some scissoring where we bring one leg crossing over the front and then back out to the sides and alternating which one goes in front. This whole time that you're doing this, drawing in through the core, chin drawing in and down. Make sure you're breathing here. We're going to finish with the open position holding here. A little curl up to the front. Give this a bit of a hold, so reaching between the legs. Make sure you're still breathing again. Good, and then let's come down. Relax those legs. Set those feet down. And let's do a little bridge to balance out the body here. So a little hip lift off the ground. Open up through the fronts of the hips here. Come to the height that feels good for you. On your next exhale, just let that spine roll down to the ground. Good. And take both legs out stretched on the floor now. Make sure you feel lengthened out. Let's do an upper back bridge here. I'm just having my arms lying down on the ground beside my body, but I'm starting to draw the shoulder blades in and pull the shoulders back and see if I can get that little rising up or lift of the chest. So there's that hollow formed underneath the back. Back of the head is resting. Just a small engagement into those back muscles, opening through the front body here. Last breath holding with this little arch. Good, and then let the back float down or soften down to the floor. We're here just in a simple lying position. We're going to go into our spinal twist from here. So let's pick up whichever knee you like. One knee lifts, and with your opposite hand, you're guiding it across and over to the other side. Just those hips shifted under as you roll. Your free arm will reach out to the side, palm up. Find that place that feels like a good place to stay. Taking in 3 more long, smooth breaths. Okay, let's roll onto our backs. Make sure you're straightened out, and then we'll go to that other side. At each exhale, encourage a little bit more release, a little bit more softening through the body. Okay, and roll onto your backs again. Good, okay. So let's get a little stretch through the shoulders here, that eagle arm position on our backs. Your knees could just be bent, relaxed here. Doesn't matter which side, but one arm, elbows hooking underneath the other. Try to wrap those arms in front to the face. See if you can get the palms to come together. Usually when I'm laying on my back, I let my hands land down onto the forehead, chin drawing in and down. And we want to have that sense of the upper back opening across the shoulder blades. Stay for a couple breaths here on this side. Okay, release those arms, take a moment, and when you're ready, switch it so the other arm comes underneath. Just checking in with that neck position again. Watch if that chin's poking up. There we go, good. Release. Relax those arms for a moment. Let's do a long stretch out here, just finishing things up. So I've got both arms are reaching overhead and both legs lengthening out. Bring the body back to some symmetry and open up those spaces. Couple big full breaths in and out here. The belly's relaxed. Maybe a little bit of rise and fall through the tummy as you breathe. Good, and then those arms are still stretching. Let's bring them back down to our sides and open up the space between the legs. Let those feet have some room there. Roll those feet out a little. Relax through the hips. Adjust a little. Just make sure the backs of the hips, the glutes there feel level and even, and same with the shoulder blades. And then as you find your way into a place that feels relaxed, spacious in this lying posture, we'll come into eyes closed if they're not already. Just be here for a minute. Enjoying a little bit of time to not move, not plan for that next move. Letting your awareness be drawn into the body, into the breath. All right, we're going to start to add a little bend in those knees again. Maybe it might feel good to hug the knees to the chest or just give it a little stretch to the arms for a moment. Good, and then when you feel ready, we'll roll it to a side or roll it up. Come back to our sitting position here. Great. As we arrive here, just being in a comfortable way for a little moment, sit tall. Just take those shoulders down away from the ears. And let's finish with a little lean of the head to one side. Give it a hold for a couple breaths. Good. And then over to that other side. Great. Bring it back through center. Palms together here in front. Little bow. Thank you so much. Namaste.